This is Chrissy and Savannah's story, winter 2016. They were a lot like any of us, just a mom and a daughter, hard at work and play. Savannah was 14, a busy middle schooler.
We were like best friends, so like we spent, when she was home and not at her friend's house, we had a very, very close relationship, as we still do. And so she spent a lot of time in my room. We watched movies together and we would always, hang out together. Very energetic, very good student. She played volleyball for school. She got good grades.
Chrissy worked full-time at a local employer, plus ran her own house cleaning service on the side. Sometimes Savannah would help too, to earn a little spending money for them all. It was an all-American story of a small family from southern Missouri, working and loving their way through life. But on March 2nd, Savannah had been sick for days. She was tired, pale, vomiting, and it only got worse each day.
We took her to the emergency room. They had her a whole 15 minutes and they realized what the problem was, and they gave her a CAT scan and found a lesion. They called it a lesion. And then they life flighted us on a plane from St. Louis Children's. When we got there, I was standing there literally in a circle of 5 doctors explaining that they were gonna do this, that, and they were gonna cut her open and they were gonna take this thing out. So they put her in a medically induced coma, and they took her back for surgery at 7. She was back there for 6 hours. They had cut her directly up the middle of the back of her head in order to take out the tumor. So they did it up the middle of her ponytails because the doctor was so sweet she didn't want to cut any of her hair off.
After the surgery, Savannah remained in treatment at the hospital for 19 days, fighting medulloblastoma, brain cancer. A tube called a shunt drained fluid to manage the pressure on her brain, but for some reason, the pressure would not subside for weeks. Savannah fought valiantly, and Chrissy stayed at her daughter's side as much as possible. This became Chrissy's work 24/7. Her job went on hold, their insurance maxed out, and she quickly cleaned out her savings.
We got in touch with St. Jude's, and because we realized that the number we were at really at St. Louis was astronomical as far as brain surgery and a 19-day hospital stay, which is catastrophic. I mean, there's no other way to describe it.
But St. Jude's had more bad news for Savannah. The doctors found that there was still a large amount of tumor in her head that was missed during the first surgery. That meant a second, intensive, and dangerous round of brain surgery.
So you have to picture everything that happened in St. Louis just 30 days prior is now happening again. The difference between that surgery and this surgery is she walked out of the St. Louis Children's surgery. Because of them finding so much more of the tumor, they had to go further into her 4th ventricle in her brain, and because of that, it took away her ability to walk. She also ended up with posterior fossa syndrome, which means you can have a hard time swallowing, definitely getting your words out. Her voice is monotone. She doesn't know how to match her facial expressions with her what she wants to say. On top of that, she couldn't walk, she couldn't bathe, she couldn't pick up her own food, she couldn't eat for herself, she couldn't do anything. So like within about a month's time, we went from a completely normal, very, very normal eighth grader to somebody who, literally had no control over their faculties at all.
With 2 difficult surgeries under her belt, it was time to start advanced radiation therapy for 3 months, 5 days a week, traveling back and forth from St. Jude's in Memphis to home on the weekends. Currently, Savannah is working her way through 8 chemotherapy sessions, fighting the long road to recovery.
Savannah has 5 days a week of physical therapy, so she does occupational therapy, physical therapy, and speech. They have to help her walk again, talk again, everything again. She also has homebound school. She's a freshman now in high school.
So there's finally light at the end of the tunnel. But what about all of these expenses? The hospital bills, the surgeries, radiation, daily chemo, speech and occupational therapy, travel. And don't forget the mortgage, utility bills, groceries.
I'm at Memphis 5 days a week. I am not at home. There's no way to make any money doing that. They said that we know a place that you can call that can help you with your household expenses, with things that will help you not lose your house and your vehicle and, keep your lights on. And that's when I was put in touch through the Children's Miracle Network with the Hope Foundation.
The Hope Foundation's mission is to provide financial assistance to families during pediatric emergencies. Every day in Southwest Missouri, a child is diagnosed with a severe illness or sustains a debilitating injury. The Hope Foundation bridges the financial gap for these families in times of crisis, where other organizations and insurance companies don't.
The only reason I get up every day is her, and I will continue to do that whether I live in the house I'm in or on the street. This happened. There was no preventing it, no way we were ever gonna know it was ever gonna happen. But that's why I think places like the Hope Foundation are there, because they make sure you don't lose even what little you did have or do have to start with.
But the Hope Foundation can't do this important work without the support of people like you. Families helping neighbors when tragedy strikes their children.
The reason you should support the Hope Foundation is because there's gonna be a family just like me 1 year from now going through something just as tragic that they didn't plan for, and this could be you. This could happen to you. I mean, I didn't think this would ever happen to me. I mean, I definitely never thought it was gonna happen to my beautiful, vibrant, amazing daughter.
By supporting the Hope Foundation, you're giving hope to other families.
You can give hope. Please help today.